Hi, I'm Christy Conway with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I'm here at the Citadel's Johnson Hagood Stadium for the Custom Home and Remodel Show, and I'm standing talking to Darren of Pella Windows and Doors. Darren, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
How's the show been going?
Good.
Good. Now, your booth is pretty cool because you're surrounded on three sides by obviously some stuff that you sell. Can you talk about what you've got here?
That's right. We've got a French-style door in swing on this side, and then we have a sliding door over here.
Okay.
Basically, this is our flagship Architect Series line that matches up with the Architect Series window back here. And then we have the Designer Series line as more of our contemporary style door, where you get the features between the glass, where you can raise and lower the blinds between the glass. And that keeps it away from dust and dirt, so you don't have to worry about maintenance, that sort of thing, little fingers, that kind of thing. But then you've got the shade option too. You can get blackout shade, so if you've got a room where somebody's sensitive for sleeping in the pitch black dark, you can get a blackout shade that works well, much better than having an interior blind or shade for blacking things out completely.
Okay. And you said this is Architecture Series?
That's right. This is actually a replacement unit. That it matches up with a more traditional appearance, the things that are typical in Charleston, especially downtown, the profiles. If you notice, the traditional historic windows have a real minimalist check rail, this piece that runs across horizontally in the center, and then they have a taller bottom rail. You'll notice the depths on this window are much deeper than a lot of the competition out there, and that follows through to the exterior as well. So you've got, it's just a much more traditional looking window.
So Pella Windows and Doors has been around for a long time, right?
That's right.
How long?
They actually started in the 20s. The guy started selling roll screens out of his Model T Ford.
Really?
So that's right, in Des Moines, Iowa is where it was originally started. Then they moved to Pella. Before moving down here about 10 years ago, I was working at the factory in Iowa up there, so I got to learn a lot about the history and the background behind the Pella process, and the guy that started it and the family that still runs it today is still part of the same lineage that the guy that's not around anymore that started it back in the 20s.
That's a great story. I mean, I never would have known. So it's a family-owned business with a bunch of different satellite companies, because I'd imagine Charleston's not the only outlet you guys
right.
have.
Pella's set up a little bit unique in that they don't distribute through the lumber yards like most of the big manufacturers do. They have their independent sales network. Distributors, generally, there's one per state. We operate, our main office is in Columbia, and then we have our satellite office here in Charleston, among others, in different parts of the state. So we've been around, like I said, Pella's been around since the 20s, and we've been around since the 60s. So it's been here for a while and has gone through the ups and downs, and is here to stay hopefully for a long time to come.
Now, working at the factory, I'd imagine you've probably picked up a lot of interesting kind of knowledge about the windows and doors.
That's right.
What would you say is kind of the biggest thing that sets you apart from your competitors?
That's right. Unfortunately, the industry, when you're dealing with ratings, this is one of the big ones that I tell people that's not seen on the surface, is the industry tends to allow one window to go through the testing process to get certified for a certain design pressure rating, for example, where we have an internal standard that far exceeds that, where we force a random 7 for 7 off the assembly line. So we have to take 7 windows off the assembly line randomly. They have to send them through the testing process internally, and if they don't pass, then we go back to the drawing board to redesign before we'll actually stamp that window as having that design pressure rating, for example. The industry, on the other hand, allows one window to be tested, and if that window passes, then it can be certified.
So it might be a fluke that one window works and the rest of them are all awful.
That's right. It's a little more belt and suspenders, so that it's more assurance that what you're getting in the field is actually what was printed on paper. That's right.
Okay. So besides windows and doors, do you guys sell anything else?
We focus on windows and doors. That's our bread and butter.
All right. And that probably makes you guys an expert, right?
That's right. We like to think so.
Okay. Do you have a website people, well, before I ask that, I do want to say this upcoming issue is about remodeling.
Right.
And I think a big thing that people focus on when remodeling is efficiency of a home. But tell me, is that something that is important when remodeling? What's some of your tips for remodeling, people that are remodeling?
It is. Efficiency is a big one. That's becoming more and more widespread now. Most of the window manufacturers out there are getting kind of on top of the energy efficiency game, so to speak. There's a lot of upgrades to look at, potentially. There's a lot of advancements that have been made in glazings, for example, coatings on the glass. Probably the biggest recommendation is to talk to somebody that's an expert in their field, so they can really educate you on what the options are, where to spend money, where not to spend money, because there's a lot of in between. You don't have to necessarily go for the Cadillac everywhere in the house, for example. You might have a western facing side of your building that's going to get blasted with a lot of the afternoon sun. It might make sense to upgrade the low E on that side,
right,
but not necessarily on the other faces of the building. It might be wasting money doing that in other areas, for example. We've even had people mix and match product series. I might use a premium product series on the front of the house where people are in the common areas, the living room, where you're spending a lot of time during the day. You have guests coming, you want the front to look nice, and then the other areas you can have a nice window, but maybe not go to the extent that you go in the front.
Great tips. Do you have a website people can check out to kind of learn more?
We do. Pella.com.
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's there's an extensive amount of information out there. So.
What about a phone number to kind of learn more locally?
That's right. Locally, the best number to reach us, you can reach me directly actually at 843-513-3051.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And we've been speaking with Darren of Pella Windows and Doors here at the Custom Home and Remodel Show at the Citadel's Johnson Hagood Stadium.
Thanks.